From creepy camping encounters in the haunted forests of Pocomoke to the heart-stopping sight of cryptids found in caves, and even clips of the weirdness of nature and its habitat. If you're intrigued by the world of the unexplained, you're in for an extraordinary adventure as we explore each mysterious capture.
Oh my days. What?
Love can come in all shapes and sizes, but this Colombian man's love story is definitely unique.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Natalia is clearly a crudely constructed mannequin, while on the other hand, Christian is a flesh and blood man. But in every photo, all we see, for lack of a better phrase, is man and puppet posing together as if they're actually a couple. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is going on here? Is this some kind of a joke account? Does Christian have some kind of a paraphilia that he's sharing with the rest of the world? Well, that's the thing.
Meet Christian Montenegro, a 27-year-old from Bogota, Colombia, who found companionship in a rather unconventional way. After a string of failed relationships, Christian decided to create his own family. A ragdoll family. His family includes Natalia Ortiz, a life-size ragdoll who even has her own Facebook page, and 3 smaller dolls as their children. Christian started documenting their lives on social media in 2022, taking them on outings and editing photos to make them seem like a real family. This story has sparked online debates. While some find it a creative way to deal with loneliness, others worry about Christian's mental well-being. There have been bumps along the road too. After a breakup, Christian even burned the dolls, only to return to them later. He recently announced a new addition, a ragdoll baby named Sammy. Christian's story highlights the complex ways social media, mental health, and the human desire for connection can all intertwine. But there is something more terrifying to the story. Some people claimed to have seen the dolls move their eyes, short movements that you would miss if not filmed. But while looking online, I did spot them as well. Could he have modified them in some way to have this feature? Or are they truly alive? There are cultures that think objects can come to life. For instance, in Japan, the concept of tsukumogami involves household objects that, after serving for 100 years, become animated and sentient. Similarly, in many African traditions, it's believed that spirits can inhabit statues and dolls, giving them life and agency. What do you think? If you are enjoying this so far, consider subscribing. It really helps me keep this channel going. This next intriguing video from Newsflare shows us how to spot a tinfoil alligator in hazy water. And trust me, this knowledge could save your life.
By the way, you'd never know there's a 10-foot alligator right there. No one's gonna believe that there's an alligator in here. James! James is his middle name, come on. Come on up, please! Come on up! There's my big boy.
The video features a professional alligator handler demonstrating a technique for identifying alligators in hazy or muddy water. At first glance, the water appears calm and free of any danger. However, the handler points out subtle air bubbles breaking the surface. He follows these bubbles with his camera, explaining that they're a sign of an alligator's movement underwater. As the bubbles form a circular pattern, the handler calls out to a specific alligator named James. After a few calls, James the alligator emerges from the water. This encounter highlights how well camouflaged alligators can be, making them nearly invisible until they surface. So remember this tip if you are ever considering a swim in murky water. Keep an eye out for those air bubbles and circular patterns. They might signal the presence of an alligator because you never know when you might be joined by a mighty gator. Talk about prioritizing your lunch. This next video captures a scene straight out of a near-miss movie. The clip, believed to be from China, shows a restaurant security camera view. Outside, the street is eerily deserted, except for two figures calmly enjoying their meal at a table. As they savor their food, a fierce storm suddenly erupts. The wind whips through the scene, even lifting the restaurant's carpeted floor slightly. Unfazed, the diners continue their meal, seemingly oblivious to the growing danger. But the storm isn't playing around. A powerful gust rips the entire carpeted floor from the ground, wrapping it around a nearby pole in a flash. The diners are caught in the sudden chaos, taking a hard hit from the carpet. Thankfully, they're shaken but unharmed and quickly scramble for safety inside the restaurant. Just to emphasize the close call, look closely after they get up. A child's trampoline was also hurtling down the street. This incident serves as a stark reminder. Sometimes postponing that last bite can be the difference between a meal and a maelstrom. My friends think I'm crazy for refusing camping trips, but videos like this are exactly why. Prepare to be creeped out. This clip from Australia showcases a scene straight out of a nightmare. A swarm of thousands of bugs descends upon a camper's tent, attracted to the inviting glow of a flashlight. The video reveals a horrifying sight. The mesh walls of the tent, absolutely teeming with the sheer number and frenetic movement, are enough to send shivers down your spine. The camper, clearly unsettled, tries to fend off the invaders with a few swats, sending them scattering momentarily. But the thought of that flimsy zipper being the only barrier between you and that buzzing horde? No thanks. Even knowing the bugs are outside, the scene is enough to make anyone lose sleep. Let's just say my friends might have a point, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. The ground beneath your feet suddenly giving way. Talk about terrifying. This next video from Turkey shows a real-life nightmare unfolding.
Look at this massive sinkhole. It's one of many that can be found in Konya, Turkey. The region is dealing with the sinkhole epidemic. There are currently over 2,000 of them.
Hailing from Inside Edition, the clip takes us to Konya Plain in central Anatolia. This region is facing a growing threat. Sinkholes. These enormous gaping holes appear seemingly out of nowhere, swallowing up the earth with alarming speed. Imagine a perfectly round cavity, measuring up to 30 meters across and a staggering 40 meters deep, enough to devour an entire neighborhood. But what's causing this unsettling phenomenon? A combination of natural and human factors are to blame. Droughts are depleting underground water reserves. But human activity is also playing a role, particularly intensive irrigation practices. Since the 1990s, heavy water usage for crops like corn has exacerbated the problem. Farmers are resorting to drilling ever deeper wells, with many exceeding legal limits, while some sinkholes, like the one in Mail, have become a strange tourist attraction. Most pose a serious threat. The scariest part? They can appear with little warning, leaving residents and infrastructure vulnerable. This is why I share your fear of sinkholes. The feeling of helplessness when the ground itself becomes unstable is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. If you got so far in the video, it means you're a dedicated viewer. Thank you. And if you subscribe and hit the bell button, I promise to keep posting these for you to enjoy. Imagine you're a construction worker and you meticulously build the frame of a new house, only to find it gone the next day. Believe it or not, this nightmarish scenario became reality, as shown in this video.
Oh, there it goes!
Oh my God!
I told you.
Oh my God!
This TikTok video serves as a stark reminder of the importance of a solid foundation. The clip, filmed by family, captures a neighborhood grappling with severe weather. The camera pans towards a house under construction, its wooden skeleton exposed. As the wind intensifies, the house takes a beating. Within seconds, the flimsy structure shudders and crumbles to the ground. The family witnessing this scene is understandably shocked. A 3-story house reduced to rubble in the blink of an eye. The lesson here is clear. A strong foundation is the cornerstone of any building project. Whoever constructed this house made a critical error by neglecting this crucial step. Without a foundation to anchor it and distribute the weight evenly, the house was no match for the powerful winds. Let's hope this serves as a cautionary tale for future builders. Forget human surfers. This artificial wave pool has a whole new crew catching rides. This video comes from an artificial surf pool, but instead of humans, it features some new surfing pros joining the competition. In the video, we see a group of geese with some flying and others swimming, getting on the water wave. They position themselves with surprising skill, mirroring the techniques of seasoned pros. Watching from the sidelines, even the human surfers are impressed by these feathered athletes. Geese are no strangers to aquatic adventures. They love the water and a good friendly competition. In fact, these surfing geese might even teach the human surfers a thing or two. Their focus and determination could surely earn them a gold medal in the Goosey Games. Your car may be fast, but can it do that? This buck just flexed on us. Forget motorcycles. This is a whole new level of stunt. This dashcam video from Canada captures a wild encounter that highlights the importance of road safety. The driver films a magnificent buck racing alongside their car. The deer is surprisingly fast, keeping pace with the vehicle. Then, in an incredible moment, the buck leaps right in front of the car, soaring 5 or 6 feet through the air to gracefully clear the entire road. It's like watching an Olympic long jumper in the animal kingdom. This may be a strange sight, but thankfully, both the buck and the driver emerged unscathed. Encounters with wildlife are common on Canadian roads, making road awareness and using your horn crucial for safe driving. I love the invention of ring cameras as they provide us safety and a sense of security, but sometimes they record things like this that do the opposite. This footage captures a spine-tingling moment in the dead of night, right outside a homeowner's door. In the video, it's a dark night, and a seemingly ordinary toy car sits innocently by the door. But then, things take a turn for the strange. A few seconds in, the car's handle inexplicably lifts on its own, then slowly lowers back down. And that's not all. The cart itself starts to move, as if pulled by an unseen force. The video cuts out just as the movement begins, leaving us hanging with a chilling question. What pulled the car? Some viewers suspect a ghostly presence. But let's hold off on summoning the spirit world just yet. It's more likely a clever prank, maybe with a string attached. But that still leaves us with a head-scratcher. Why would someone stage this on their own Ring camera? This spooky clip definitely leaves more questions than answers. What do you think? Creepy coincidence? Or a prank gone too far? This next video I found on Reddit shows a really strange creature recorded in a cave in the Urals, Russia, and netizens are confused about what it is. The creature in the footage was found deep within a Ural cave system. At first glance, it appears eerily humanoid, covered in thick black fur with 2 arms and bipedal legs. Its torso resembles a human's but tapers to a point. And most unsettlingly, it seems to lack a head. The only other detail visible are what appear to be long, sharp claws. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't offer a full view, leaving us with more questions than answers. Could this be a glimpse of a legendary creature? Perhaps a baby yet rumored to inhabit the Ural caves. The internet is certainly abuzz with speculation. Without more evidence, it's impossible to say for sure what this mysterious creature is. But one thing's for certain, it's definitely sparked our imaginations. If you have any theories about what this might be, head to the comments below and share your thoughts. While browsing the internet, I stumbled upon a chilling archive. Photos and documents from Mexico, supposedly depicting an otherworldly creature. The archive has detailed sketches, seemingly based on recovered photographs. These drawings depict a creature unlike anything we've ever seen, detailing its posture and behavior. Then, things get real. We see the actual photos of this alleged alien being, and let me tell you, it's pure nightmare fuel. Hunched in the corner of a deserted room, the creature has a round head with enormous, unsettling eyes. Its mouth and nose resemble a lizard's, adding to the alien vibe. The lower body is vaguely humanoid, but the skin texture is undeniably bizarre. Multiple photos capture the creature from various angles, each one more disturbing than the last. In one full body shot, 2 tubes protrude from its body, hinting at some kind of experiment gone wrong. This archive raises more questions than it answers. Where did it come from? What exactly is this horrifying creature? The truth remains shrouded in mystery. But one thing's for sure, this chilling discovery will stay with you long after you see it. Glowing white eyes in the dead of night. From out of the darkness can barely be seen a shape, a moving creature. It is rumored to be the Australian yowie. Some individuals believe that yowies could be the Australian equivalent of Bigfoot, although there are different accounts regarding the creature. It is believed that this creature inhabits the outback and other remote areas of Australia. Opinions on the creature's behavior vary, with some describing it as timid or shy, while others claim it to be violent and aggressive. I think it is safe to say that whatever this creature is, it is a terrifying one we would all want to avoid meeting in the forest. With its large forehead, we can almost imagine it to be a gorilla of sorts. Its movements are rapid and jerky. It seems to be hiding, but from what? Does it know it is being watched from this trail camera? These homeowners heard some strange sounds outside their home, and they started recording the outside. And what they saw was terrifying, as the owner started calling someone on his phone. Deep within the darkness, something seems to be moving. The creature remains still to begin with, hiding in the distance and watching. It then moves over to the side slightly and comes closer to the camera. I can't be sure if there is a time lapse on this video, but it seems that the frightening humanoid figure materializes ever closer. The figure is white and large, a skinwalker perhaps. If such a thing does indeed exist, I would imagine it to look just like this. You can hear the desperation in Richard's voice as he tries to convince his friend of what he is seeing.
It's like 35 feet away, and it came out of those weeds. You know what I'm talking about?
At one point, the being looks almost ape-like, until it stands straight again, and then it clearly is not. The creature is very well aware that Richard is there, and it watches him. Richard says something like, "It came back."
Oh my God, there it is, Mike. It came back. Oh my gosh.
Making us understand that this is not the first time he is visited by this. We can only hope that Richard's friend eventually believed him and came to his rescue. This driver caught a strange sight in the middle of the road and had to film it. A strange-looking predator carrying away its slain prey. The only thing really clear in this video is the fact that whatever the animal is walking away, it is carrying the head of a zebra. Where does the rest of the prey lie, we wonder? It is half bush pig, half buck of some kind, a deviant of nature, an amalgamation of beings that hides in the night. I am not quite sure what this creature is. Unfortunately, just as we see the profile of the animal, it disappears into the bush. But I think I've been watching this video too many times. The animal's bottom almost seems pixelated as it trots casually away, which makes me wonder whether the footage has been edited. The animal is indeed casual. It does not seem perturbed that there is a vehicle with bright lights following closely behind it. There is no sense of urgency. This in itself is strange and somewhat unnerving. This video starts innocently enough with a few guys filming something odd in the distance. The one filming makes reference to black dots, but their attention, and ours, is very soon diverted to the large human scaling the forest edge. We hear the cameraman's exclamation that it is a skinwalker.
Dude, that was a skinwalker, what? Follow him. I videoed it.
Within Navajo culture, a skinwalker is characterized as a malevolent witch capable of transforming into, possessing, or camouflaging themselves as an animal. I was under the assumption, however, that skinwalkers ever only came out at night. This is in broad daylight. I'm really not sure what to make of it. The creature is huge, almost reaching the tops of the trees. Unfortunately, it isn't long before the guys lost the creature, so we can't be sure what it was that we saw. This lady has found one of the strangest looking creatures. At first it does look like some sort of a abnormal rat, crawling without any limbs. However, as strange and alien as these creatures are, there's actually a logical explanation. This bizarre creature is called the rat-tailed maggot. So it is not a rat, but rather a maggot. It is the larval or immature stage of a fly. These whitish larvae measure around 3 to 4 inches in length and possess a distinctive feature, an elongated tail of approximately 1 to 2 inches in length. This tail serves as a breathing tube for the maggots when they are submerged in water. As they reach maturity, the maggots become a nuisance by crawling away from their breeding site in search of a dry location where they can undergo metamorphosis and transition into the adult stage. As creepy as they look, they are completely harmless, so the lady in this video was in no danger. This guy was walking around in a forest, filming as he was doing his stroll, but when looking back at his footage, he found something strange caught on camera. Right at the end of this footage, the camera caught the sight of a strange lizard-like creature which can be seen emerging from a tree stump. The cameraman obviously did notice, as we can see how he freaked. It is indeed a frightening sight to see while walking all alone in a forest. But honestly, I think that rather than a mysterious creature, it is more likely a type of lizard. But even that would be hoping for too much. There is so much driftwood and debris out in the forest that it is quite easily just a strange shaped piece of wood. There are strange creatures among us, for sure. This isn't one of them. These remarkable images, captured by a trail camera deep in the forests of Oregon, have ignited a wave of speculation and wonder. From the very first glance, it becomes apparent that we may be in the presence of the legendary and elusive creature known as Bigfoot. The figure, towering amidst the trees, exhibits distinct humanoid characteristics, captivating the imagination with its enigmatic presence. However, it is the additional element that truly adds an extra layer of intrigue to this already fascinating encounter. Upon closer examination, an unexpected revelation unfolds. Nestled securely on the back of the majestic Bigfoot, a smaller figure becomes visible. This diminutive companion, seemingly a baby, clings tenaciously to its larger counterpart, gripping onto the strands of hair. The resemblance between the two is striking, suggesting a kinship. The notion that these awe-inspiring beings may indeed be a Bigfoot and its offspring opens up a world of possibilities. Could these elusive creatures possess complex familial structures and social dynamics? Do they, like humans and other mammals, exhibit maternal instincts and nurture their young? The presence of the baby Bigfoot lends further credence to the existence of an entire species. Could this remarkable trail camera footage be the key that unlocks the secrets surrounding Bigfoot's elusive nature? We can see someone filming some sort of animal in a ditch that is approaching. The person filming is backing as the creature is approaching. At first glance, one might be inclined to believe that the approaching creature is a bear cub, given its initial size and the cautious retreat of the person behind the camera. However, as the lens focuses and the animal turns to reveal its profile, we quickly see that this is not the case. The creature possesses a unique amalgamation of features: a sizable head, a compact body adorned with a dense coat of hair, and short limbs that convey an uncanny fusion of monkey-like attributes with those reminiscent of a rat. Its distinct form is enough to elicit both fascination and trepidation, leaving us to question the very nature of its existence. As the scene unfolds, our attention is drawn to the creature's behavior. It exhibits a mixture of curiosity and caution, a primal instinct driving it to explore its surroundings while remaining wary of the human presence. We witness its repeated attempts to scale the grassy wall beside the ditch, an endeavor that suggests a desire to evade potential danger or seek refuge in the elevated terrain. The intensity of the encounter heightens as the creature persists in its approach towards the person filming. What drives it to venture towards the human observer? Is it driven by curiosity, a quest for food, or perhaps an unknown instinctual desire for connection? However, just as the anticipation reaches its peak, the video abruptly ends, leaving us yearning for more. What exactly was this enigmatic creature that crossed paths with the intrepid filmmaker? In this video, we can see some guys in their boat on a river, filming the shoreline for some reason. It is really windy where they are, as we can see from the original sound as the camera pans across the riverbank. Their search for scenic beauty takes an unexpected turn. Amongst the tall grass, a peculiar sight captures their attention: an enigmatic figure with a coat of shaggy brown fur. Intrigued, the cameraman speculates, pondering whether it could be a dog lingering by the river's edge.
Okay, so is something a dog or what?
Little do they know, their assumptions are about to be challenged in the most astonishing manner. In a sudden twist, the figure abruptly rises from its previous position, unveiling its true form. What was initially perceived as a dog reveals itself to be a bipedal being, swiftly standing upright and revealing its incredible stature. The sheer magnitude of this creature amazes the two guys in the boat.
Oh, la verga! Oh, shit!
With a surge of speed, the creature darts away, effortlessly navigating its way through the surrounding terrain. The realization that they have just encountered a creature of tremendous significance washes over the two guys, filling them with a blend of exhilaration and curiosity. Although the video does not show anything more, and we get a very brief sight of the creature, it still raises the question of whether they may have captured a glimpse of the legendary Sasquatch, a creature often shrouded in mystery and folklore. Could this video be the elusive evidence that generations have sought, providing a tantalizing glimpse into the existence of the legendary Bigfoot? This is the recording from a few friends out in the forest at night camping. They are just filming themselves talking, eating, joking around. For a long part of the video, this is the only thing that happens. But their lovely night is soon to take a scary turn. After a while, they hear a distant scream in the forest. Everyone becomes quiet as they try to listen closely.
The firebenders. The firebenders bought that. Oh my.
What? Did you hear something?
One of the guys asks if someone can come with him to look around to make sure they are safe.
It's even been 10 minutes.
Devin?
Yet, bro.
No.
Can a couple of people just come with me just to make sure we're good?
They begin walking around the forest with the camera still rolling and the only source of light, this time, being the flashlight from the camera. They hear the scream again in the forest, and this time they sound more panicked, calling for someone, possible one of their friends.
Shit. Alexis? Alexis?
One of the girls seems to have spotted something as she can be heard asking what the heck is that.
What in the hell is that?
They get to a structure made out of branches, wondering what is that. They find their friend in this wooden structure, but suddenly, and out of nowhere, a bizarre creature appears, going straight for them. The camera is dropped in the grass out of the sheer terror they might have felt. If we slow down the video and zoom in, we can actually see what started chasing them. A humanoid creature with multiple limbs and no hair on it. Its skin seems to be of a human, but the body structure is abnormal. So what was all that? This video is really strange, as if taken from a horror movie, and I tend to believe it is just a short horror film made by someone and uploaded on the internet to give people a fright. But what do you think? This video seems to have been taken somewhere in a desert. We can see someone heading towards what appears to be a covered well or cave. As the camera focuses on the imposing metal sheet obscuring the opening, an unsettling symphony of otherworldly sounds can instantly be heard. Something is down there. The filmmaker, driven by an insatiable curiosity, or perhaps compelled by an indomitable sense of bravery, proceeds to lift the metal sheet, granting us a glimpse into the abyss. It is a chorus of chilling proportions, an amalgamation of howls, cries, moans, and screams that are coming from the depths below. Each haunting sound seems to emanate from a multitude of unseen creatures concealed within the depths of the well or cave. I am not sure what the guy in the video is thinking, but for sure no one would want to have anything to do with that, whatever might be down there. This footage was taken by the security camera a guy installed in his room because he kept hearing strange things in his house. From the very outset of the footage, an unsettling sight can be seen in the room. A subtle shade of light, almost ethereal in nature, dances and glides alongside the bed. I thought at first that it might be a liquid stain on the lens, but we can see that this light is moving weirdly, in a ghost-like fashion. As the events unfold, the abnormal activity intensifies. Boxes, resting peacefully on a table, are suddenly hurled into the air with alarming force. The room becomes a stage for this spectral performance, leaving us questioning the forces at play. In a particularly chilling moment, one of the boxes is forcefully propelled onto the sleeping owner, jolting him from his slumber. As the owner appears to start waking up, the ghostly form diminishes and moves in the direction of the man, like it is somehow entering inside him. Once the man wakes up, he is startled, as if he knows something happened, perhaps from seeing the thrown boxes. As the man fully awakens, a look of startled recognition flickers across his face, hinting at a vague awareness of the inexplicable events that have just unfolded. While the nature of the phenomenon captured in the video remains elusive, several interpretations emerge. Some propose the notion of a ghostly apparition, a lingering spirit seeking connection or resolution. Others suggest the possibility of astral projection, an experience where the soul temporarily leaves the physical body, yet remains connected to it, which I'm leaning towards because we can see the ghostly figure diminish and seem to go inside the man, like he was part of him. But what do you think? This is footage from a few hikers somewhere in Asia. We can see they are hiking somewhere in the mountains at night, with the only source of light being the flashlight from the camera they have. They seem to be looking around at a rock formation, possibly having spotted something that caught their eyes. As the cameraman comes closer to a creek in the mountain, he hears some sort of growling. At first, it's hard to see anything, but as the camera gets closer to a creek in the mountain, the creature becomes more visible. The creature seems to be trying to hide, and as the camera zooms in, we can see a humanoid shape with a grayish head and large black eyes. The creature's movements are swift and erratic, and it appears to be peering at the hikers from behind a rock. The hikers become frightened and run away as fast as they can. The video raises a lot of questions about what the creature could be. Could it be an animal that has not yet been discovered or identified, or could it be something else entirely, such as a cryptid or extraterrestrial? The footage is not clear enough to say for certain, but it is certainly intriguing. There have been many sightings of strange humanoid creatures all over the world, and many people believe that there are creatures such as skinwalkers, which roam the forests, looking for their next prey. This video was taken by a father who took his daughter out for a walk in the forest. For a long while, he was just walking around, filming his daughter explore and have fun in nature. But at some point, they got to a clearing in the forest, and as they were looking around, the camera picked some big figure moving between the trees. At first glance, it may seem like an animal, but as the footage is zoomed in, it becomes clear that the figure appears to be a large, hairy creature, potentially resembling the mythical Bigfoot. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is generally depicted as a large bipedal humanoid covered in hair or fur, which seems to match what we have on this video. None of the parties seem to have noticed one another at that time. Was it just luck that this father did not have to face Bigfoot to save his daughter? However, it is possible that the video has been edited to include the figure, or that it is a clever hoax created by someone hoping to create a viral video. What do you think? Is this video authentic? This trail camera caught a strange sight. We immediately can see some sort of humanoid creature making its way across the field in a slow manner. But what is strange about this is that it seems like a deformed human, with long arms and legs, using all four of them to move awkwardly. The creature in the video seems to have human-like characteristics, but its elongated limbs and awkward movements suggest something much more unusual. It's possible that this could be an undiscovered cryptid, a creature that has yet to be identified by science. There have been numerous reports of cryptids throughout history, and many of them share similar characteristics to the creature captured in this video. Some researchers believe that cryptids could be surviving remnants of prehistoric animals, while others think that they could be the result of genetic mutations or some sort of unknown evolutionary process. Of course, it's also possible that the video could have been edited or manipulated in some way. With modern technology, it's relatively easy to create convincing hoaxes that can fool even the most discerning viewer. However, without additional evidence, it's impossible to say for sure whether the creature in the video is real or not. In this video, we can see someone stopped in a car in the middle of a forest road at night with no light other than that from the car's headlights. We immediately realize why the driver had stopped in that place, as in the front of the car we can see some white silhouette on the right side of the road. The entity begins moving across the road slowly. If we look closely at where its feet should be, we can somewhat discern some leg movements, as if it indeed is a human walking. But clearly from its ephemeral shape, it is not. So perhaps it is a ghost, a remnant of a human soul trapped in this world. Of course, there are those who may argue that the figure in the video is simply an optical illusion or some sort of natural phenomenon. But for believers in the paranormal, the video is a powerful piece of evidence that suggests the existence of ghosts. Many theories have been put forward to explain the existence of ghosts, ranging from the idea that they are the spirits of deceased individuals who have not yet moved on to the afterlife, to the notion that they are the result of residual energy left behind by past events. Regardless of the explanation, ghost sightings continue to fascinate people and provoke debate. The video captured during the storm presents a truly awe-inspiring sight. As the waves crash into the rocks, one cannot help but feel the sheer power of the ocean. But what truly catches our attention is the glimpse of something else in the distance. As we focus on the object in the distance, our eyes cannot help but lock onto the massive tentacles emerging from the water. They are huge, and judging from the distance, we can only imagine how colossal they must be up close. This begs the question, could this be the legendary Kraken? Legends of the Kraken go back centuries, and many sailors have reported seeing giant tentacles rising from the water. In recent years, there have been accounts of colossal squids, which can grow up to 42 feet in length, and it is not difficult to imagine that there are other unknown, massive creatures lurking in the deep. But what is it that makes this particular sighting so intriguing? It is the fact that the video appears to show the tentacles in motion of a gigantic living creature that is lurking deep in the water. The possibility that a creature of such immense size could exist is truly fascinating. We have only explored a small fraction of the ocean's depths. Could this video be evidence of a giant sea monster? In this video, a man ventures into the green woods as dusk falls, casting a dim light through the trees. He's using a flashlight to navigate and explore. As he moves the light around, something startling catches his attention. A pair of glowing eyes peering at him from behind the foliage. The sight is eerie, the eyes shining in the darkness amidst the green leaves. The glowing eyes in the dim forest create a spooky atmosphere. It's a common occurrence in the wild for certain animals' eyes to reflect light, giving them an otherworldly glow. The question arises, what kind of creature is watching from the shadows? Is it a nocturnal animal native to the woods, or something more mysterious? Given the setting and the nature of wildlife, my opinion leans towards the eyes belonging to a forest animal, perhaps a deer or a raccoon. The woods at night can make even the most familiar creatures seem mysterious and unnerving. In a video captured by a surveillance camera overlooking a wooded path, a startling event unfolds. A boy is walking along the path when, suddenly, a black, translucent shadow with a human shape appears from one side. In an unexpected and chilling moment, the shadowy figure seems to push the boy. Startled and knocked off balance, the boy quickly gets up. Then, just as abruptly as it appeared, the shadow vanishes, leaving the boy alone and understandably frightened, prompting him to run away. This mysterious encounter raises questions about what the shadow could be. It looks like a ghost, especially with its translucent appearance and the way it interacts with the boy. While the idea of a ghost is intriguing and fits the eerie nature of the video, it's also worth considering other explanations like a trick of light or a reflection that created an illusion of a human shape. In this video, a security guard is walking through the halls of a hospital, recording his routine patrol. The hospital corridors are quiet and seemingly ordinary. However, as he turns a corner, something unusual and unsettling occurs. A humanoid figure briefly appears from behind a corner and then, just as suddenly, vanishes into thin air. The brief appearance of this figure in the sterile clinical setting of a hospital adds to the eeriness of the encounter. Was it just another person in the hospital? Perhaps a patient or a staff member playing a prank? Or could it be something more mysterious, like a ghost, given the way it disappeared so abruptly? Considering the setting and the nature of the incident, it's tempting to lean towards a supernatural explanation. This hunter caught one of the most amazing footage of Bigfoot while he was standing on his deer stand, waiting for some hunt. But he quickly realizes that the forest is home to more than just deer, as he begins to spot a big humanoid figure stalking.
Something down there. What in the world is that thing? Didn't look like a deer.
This went on for 20 minutes, as this Bigfoot seemed to inspect the area, as if he knew something was off about this area. If we zoom in on the creature, it appears fully covered in brown hair with a big and frightening body, while at the same time moving as if he was fully confident to be in that forest. But what came after was truly terrifying. Deep howls in the forest, as if calling for someone, or threatening anyone who would dare to enter its domain. The hunter at this point was frightened enough and quickly forgot any idea of hunting deer that day.
I've never seen anything like that before in my whole life. I'm out of here.
These captivating photographs were captured by a motion detection trail camera equipped with night vision capabilities. We can immediately see an enigmatic figure, an anomaly amidst the natural backdrop of the forest. The subject of these photographs is undeniably strange. Its humanoid appearance is unmistakable, yet it lacks the conventional attire associated with humans. Instead, its entire form is enveloped in a dense covering of hair, evoking a sense of primal wilderness. Examining the creature's physique, we are drawn to its remarkably elongated arms, reminiscent of those found in monkeys or apes, which I am pretty sure are not freely roaming the USA. The creature's robust build further defies easy classification, leaving us perplexed and in search of answers. Many people have proposed that these images may capture a creature of legend, the elusive and mysterious Bigfoot. Tales of this legendary creature have persisted for generations, often described as a towering being inhabiting remote wilderness areas. And as we've seen in previous videos, there are more and more sightings of these beings. Could we finally get closer to finding the truth? In the heart of the dense forest, nestled in his cabin, a man finds himself thrust into a spine-tingling encounter. The tranquility of his surroundings is shattered by a bone-chilling sound that reaches his ears. an unmistakable growl that resonates through the trees.
For whatever reason, they're pretty close to the house this morning. Just out of sight, like usual. I gotta get to the truck to get to work. I don't really want to leave this porch.
The man listens intently. The growl, while reminiscent of a bear, carries an unusual depth that sets it apart from the familiar. It fills the air, signaling the presence of a creature that is not to be taken lightly. Whatever might be out there, the man says this creature seems to be pretty close by the sounds, but he does not seem to be fazed by that. But he says that he does not want to leave his house for work, considering what might be waiting out there. This footage is from somewhere in North Australia, and we can see three guys who are posing for a photo, when in fact, the person holding the camera was filming them. As they are setting up their poses for the photo, the camera caught something bizarre passing behind them. The creature that passed them triggered a sense of intense fear, as we've just seen. Upon closer examination, slowing down the footage grants us a glimpse of this enigmatic creature. It defies conventional categorization, seemingly merging characteristics of both a dog and a human. Its elongated limbs resemble those of a human, yet they possess a slender, otherworldly quality. Cloaked in darkness, it traverses the terrain gracefully, utilizing all four limbs to move with an unsettling agility. This trail camera caught a strange sight in the middle of a forest at night. We can see some lights appear and disappear in the distance. According to the owner, there is no house in sight, and the forest is dense enough. There aren't many people traveling in that forest, and it would be especially strange for someone to be in it at that hour. The way the light moves from one part to another also seems strange. Could it be just some hikers lost in the forest, or is it something else? Has somebody else encountered things like this? We can see this video from the viewpoint of one of the bikers who are going through a thick Asian forest by the looks of it. For a long while, nothing weird is going on. They are just going through the forest, enjoying the sunny day.
Hey, good job.
At some point, they get off their bikes for a rest, and the biker leaves his camera on a rock. But suddenly, one of the bikers spots something, not understanding what he's seeing.
That?
They go to investigate, but can no longer find what they initially spotted. But if we replay the clip in slow motion and zoom into what they saw, we can find a bizarre sight. Some sort of a creature with long arms and really sharp and long fingers, looking like some dangerous claws. The creature moves away from the rock as they spot it, perhaps being spooked by the bikers. So what exactly was that? It is indeed a very strange and scary sight, but is it real? I find it hard to believe that someone in a forest, upon spotting some sort of creature stalking, would just go closer to investigate. But what do you think? A group of individuals stumbled upon a peculiar discovery near a river that left them both intrigued and unsettled. The object in question possessed an eerie and unusual appearance. But what made it even more disconcerting was the fact that it appeared to be in motion. As the person is cutting into it, the tissue seemed to come back together, which makes it even scarier. Curiosity led me to search online for similar occurrences, and I came across something known that looks similar, but I am not sure if they are the same as what we see in this video. These are known as to-be-fixed worms. These worms are fascinating creatures that have the ability to densely pack themselves together, giving the illusion of living tissue. They are commonly found in the sediment of lakes, rivers, and even occasionally in sewer lines. But even with a logical explanation, Encountering these worms in such environments can be a bizarre and bewildering experience. And let me know if you think what we've seen in the original video can't be that. The footage captured by a CCTV camera reveals a truly peculiar occurrence. In the dead of night, when the streets are devoid of activity, an unexpected sight unfolds. From the corner of the frame, a movement catches our attention, drawing us closer to the scene. Within moments, a humanoid figure emerges, seemingly leaping effortlessly from the ground onto the top of a nearby wall. Balanced on all fours, it maintains an uncanny pose before swiftly descending and disappearing from view. Upon closer examination, the figure appears to possess the general shape and appearance of a human being. However, there are distinct aspects that defy conventional understanding. The creature's movements exhibit an extraordinary level of agility and coordination, surpassing what is typically observed in humans. The fluidity and grace with which it traverses the environment leave us questioning its true nature. Could this enigmatic presence be attributed to a cryptid, a creature of folklore or myth, venturing out under the cover of darkness, searching for its next unsuspecting victim? This security footage, captured inside a bar, offers a glimpse into a seemingly ordinary night. People come and go, engaged in lively conversations and enjoying their drinks. The atmosphere appears relaxed and uneventful until the late hours when closing time approaches. The scene transitions, leaving only the bartender and two other individuals within the frame. Unexpectedly, an eerie occurrence takes place. The chair positioned closest to the camera begins to move of its own accord. It sways gently back and forth, initially unnoticed by the three men engrossed in their work. As the chair continues its rhythmic rocking, it eventually falls right onto the floor. The sudden commotion captures their bewildered expressions as they investigate the peculiar incident. Together, they promptly restore the chair to its rightful place, but still wondering what caused it to fall. However, unbeknownst to them, as they focus their attention on the fallen chair, a subtle presence passes by in the background. Upon closer scrutiny of the footage, a ghostly figure emerges, bearing the likeness of a child. Its translucent form suggests a spectral entity, perhaps that of a playful spirit lingering within the bar's walls. Could it be the mischievous ghost of a child, finding amusement in pranks enacted upon unsuspecting people during the late hours?
We're gonna pull a catfish on board.
Whoa, pissed off, look.
He's definitely alive.
He's like, I'm eating that. You're not taking my food from me.
This footage is from a few people who found one of the strangest sights you can find in a lake. A giant catfish with something stuck in its mouth. The people inside the boat come closer and try to pull it, thinking that it is dead. However, as they do that, they quickly realize it is still alive and kicking. After a while, they get a hold of the fish, and we can clearly see what is stuck inside its mouth, a turtle. This fish, as big as it is, went for something too large for its mouth and got stuck in this situation. The people on board try to get the turtle out, but it seems to be stuck there. They pull the catfish on board and continue trying to pull the turtle.
There we go. Oh!
Okay.
After a while, the guy manages to get the turtle out, which looks completely filthy from being inside that fish for so long. The people on board decided it's best to release the catfish after such an experience. Thankfully, in the end, both the turtle and the catfish got out well of that sticky situation. At 12 minutes past 3, in the secluded woods, a trail camera picks up an unusual sight. A hand or a foot appears before the lens, but it is clearly not human. With black skin and short, stubby nails, the limb certainly belongs to some ape-like creature. There is nothing else to let on what the limb belongs to. There is no protruding hair, usually accompanied by an ape. So, is this indeed one? Or could it belong to a more recluse creature, such as a Bigfoot? The nails also look very sharp for a human or ape. They look like they belong to a predator, so could it be a wolfman rather than Bigfoot? What do you think? Let's take a moment to catch our breath and slowly let it out, because even we aren't quite sure how this girl ended up in the middle of nowhere, late at night, in a clearing surrounded by woods. At least to me, it looks to be a girl in a white robe in the middle of the forest at midnight. She looks young and completely alone, wearing nothing but a nightdress and going barefoot. Her long hair hangs loosely around her shoulders, adding to the mysterious vibe. And guess what? She's actually walking away from the camera. The weird ghostly blur around the lens doesn't give us much to go on, leaving us scratching our heads and longing for some much-needed clarity. Could it be something else on the lens that gives the appearance of a ghost? This is another video where the innocence of animals can be observed. However, in another more sinister case. This beautiful dog sits at attention by its master's back door, and it watches the surroundings, as if waiting for something. The master is the one who has set up the camera, because they had become aware of their dog's unusual habit of sitting at the back door at night, and sometimes even barking violently, only for the owner to see nothing outside, and so they wanted to try and see what it was that made their beloved pet so unnerved. It is silent. It dare not make a noise. However, there is something creepy going on. A tapping on the window which does not sound normal. Perhaps a creak of a wooden floor. There is not a shadow of a doubt that there is something trying to get inside. Or is it already inside? If you focus on the blinds on the door, you will notice them slowly rise during the course of the video. The dog certainly notices. It is when they start to lift that the dog utters a small cry. It tilts its head to follow the path of the blinds. But it does not run away in terror. It takes its duty as protector of the house seriously. So, it waits and watches. Mushrooms, but these look awfully creepy. The mushrooms we are confronted with in this peculiar video defy conventional notions of aesthetics, and most likely taste as well. They appear to be something out of this world, a mysterious anomaly in the realm of fungi. Rising defiantly from the ground, these extraordinary specimens stretch their sinewy forms toward the heavens above. In the footage, the cameraman, driven by curiosity, employs a tool to make contact with these extraordinary mushrooms, attempting to provoke a response. Astonishingly, the mushrooms react to his touch, exhibiting a responsiveness that defies our expectations. Such behavior is unlike anything we have encountered in nature. The very nature of these fungi remains shrouded in mystery, leaving us wondering if they are indeed mushrooms, or something altogether different. The depths of our oceans hold a myriad of strange and unsettling creatures, some of which have been immortalized in historical accounts and folklore. We are familiar with legends of colossal beings like the Kraken and the Megalodon, yet amidst our knowledge, there exists a certain creature that eludes our understanding. This beast defies the natural order, a grotesque mutation that amalgamates the traits of an insect and a cockroach, but on a scale that defies imagination. It is the Megalodon of cockroaches, a creature so colossal and formidable that it takes the combined strength of over 9 grown men to contain it. Just like its tiny earthly counterparts, it boasts the unmistakable pincers and leg structure of a cockroach. However, What sets it apart are the peculiar wings adorning its scaly body. The origins of this creature remain shrouded in mystery. Has humanity managed to track down and eradicate the last remnants of its species? Or perhaps, was there only ever one of its kind? I did some digging around this, and it seems pictures such as the one you've just seen, or this one, are in fact fake and created by an artist who I have included in this video's description if you are interested in seeing more of his artworks. I am just amazed at how real they look. The cameraman finds himself in a situation filled with mixed emotions of worry and excitement. Faced with a mysterious being, possibly Bigfoot, he quickly instructs his loved ones to seek safety indoors while he embarks on a pursuit.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
The anticipation builds as the large, hairy creature moves cautiously along the side of a forest road, eventually vanishing into the dense foliage. Amidst the pursuit, occasional grunts and ape-like hoots pierce the air, hinting at the creature's presence. These vocalizations could be interpreted as warnings, signaling to the cameraman to back off and maintain distance. The creature's intent becomes clearer through its vocal communication, urging caution on the cameraman's part. The cameraman's decision to heed the warning serves as sound advice, considering the creature's imposing size and evident strength. In the beginning of the video, we are immediately drawn to the peculiar movement of a hospital bed. At first glance, one might assume that the bed is being influenced by a gentle breeze or wind, but upon closer observation, it is clear that the movements are erratic and seemingly independent. The lack of movement in the surrounding environment, such as twigs or leaves, just emphasizes the unusual nature of the movement. The behavior of the bed suggests a sense of playfulness of an unknown entity. Rather than being a result of external forces, it appears as though the entity itself is actively engaging with the hospital bed. The back and forth rolling motion shows a deliberate action, as if the entity is enjoying the interaction and finding amusement in manipulating the bed. On August 31st, 2009, two hikers exploring the Tatra Mountains in Poland unexpectedly came across a fascinating sight, a dark figure standing out against the pristine white snow. The creature, resembling the legendary Bigfoot or Sasquatch, possesses a remarkable size and height. As it descends the rocky terrain, the creature remains unaware of the hiker's presence. The cameraman's reactions demonstrate a mix of curiosity and alarm, although they consider the possibility that the creature might be a large man. The remote location of the mountains raises questions about how such an individual could have arrived there. On July 28th, deep within the darkened halls of Stanley Palace, two intrepid ghost hunters set out on a quest to unravel the mysteries that lay dormant within its haunted confines. Stanley Palace, a 16th century mansion in Chester, England, holds a haunting past. Built on an old priory site, it has a rich history tied to the Civil War and has witnessed paranormal activity. Visitors and volunteers report strange happenings, including disembodied sounds of children, the apparition of James Stanley, 7th Earl of Derby, a malevolent spirit called Blackfriars, and a woman playing the piano. Stanley Palace is a supernatural hotspot, just as you can see in this video. As they navigate the haunted location, they become unwitting participants in a chilling encounter. However, it is not until they review the footage later on that they discover a startling revelation. Upon rewinding the recorded footage and zooming in, the ghost hunters notice the presence of a face peering over the balustrade, seemingly observing them from above. This glimpse of a ghostly visage confirms the paranormal activity they had suspected during their investigation. The sight of a face appearing unexpectedly especially in a place known for its haunting, is unnerving. It raises questions about the identity of the apparition and the nature of its connection to Stanley Palace. The orbs floating around right from the beginning also contribute to the ethereal atmosphere. A man films a live video of himself walking around a seemingly deserted ship deck at night. No sooner has he started filming when his eyes grow wide with surprise. He turns the phone camera to the water, and it takes a moment to realize that we aren't seeing something but hearing it. At first, it sounds like the wail of a child in the distance, but with every repeated sound, it becomes something far more abstract and eerie.
I hear him. Where's he at? What the fuck is that noise?
He breaks into a run, moving to the hull of the ship to get closer to the sound. This time, a distinct series of calls are heard coming from the darkness beyond. Something or someone throws its voice as if responding to him.
That's crazy.
Later, he posts a replay of his live video, calling out to the voice. A clear response is heard from the distance as he balances precariously to get as close to the sound as possible.
Can you hear me? Yo, that shit was instantaneous, bro. Oh, I gotta watch my step out here, man.
Listen to its distinct call, just a second before he calls out again to it.
Where are you? Oh, that's over here. Wait, no, now it's there.
The voice appears to be coming from two places at once. What is this strange call? There does not appear to be another boat in close proximity. Could it be a ghost from some long, forgotten shipwreck? Or the mythical mermaid, like sirens who lured sailors with their haunting song, only to have them drown when their boats capsized on the rocks? At 3:30 in the morning, a young girl is caught on the Ring camera, gingerly pressing the doorbell. She seems agitated and nervously glances out at the dark from where she's just come from. She pauses briefly before running off into the dark. Is someone chasing her? Where is her family? It is unclear what has happened. But there is a sinister feeling about the footage. An unconfirmed report suggests that the child is being used as bait for her criminal father, and that seconds after the door was indeed opened, the witness stated that she immediately ran into the house, and seconds later, after they'd only just managed to shut the door, a man with a gun came charging up to the door. Some viewers claimed to see a shadowy figure behind her. For now, we are left to wonder what terrible circumstances brought this young child to a stranger's door in the early hours of the morning. Below the streets of Paris lie a labyrinth of tunnels that became the site of mass graves. This area is known as the catacombs and is sealed off from the public. Video footage is discovered on an abandoned video camera found deep within the catacombs. Comprised of a continuous point of view, it presents a disturbing narrative. The first 40 minutes are largely uneventful as the mystery man travels into the depths of the catacombs. All of a sudden, he begins to walk faster and faster. As his pace picks up, you can hear his breathing. Eventually, he breaks into a run, pausing only briefly to decide which way to turn. The panic is palpable, and then he just drops his camera, and all that can be seen are his shoes reflected as he runs away, and the camera continues recording until it runs out of tape. Explorer Francis Friedland gathers a team of experienced men to attempt to find the mysterious missing man.
Mais alors tout Paris In Paris, you have as many miles of tunnels underground as there are streets above ground. No one knows just how many passageways exist in the catacombs, but we believe that they go down over 300 feet. Some are filled with water, and many tunnels have collapsed over the years. It's an enormous maze. We think there are as many as 7 levels to it.
Friedland and his team will have to enter the catacombs illegally. They search to find a hole, but most have been closed by the authorities. They end up walking down a deserted train track where they eventually find a point of entry. The conditions in the catacombs are exceptionally dangerous. It is dark, cold, and difficult to maneuver. Chances of finding the lost man are slim. There are narrow passages to navigate and even holes you can fall into. Friedland explains that there are over 400 miles of passages, and that anyone could easily get lost in the tunnels and never find their way out. If you lose your flashlight, you are dead. At 297 feet below the streets of Paris, the group conclude that this was too deep for an amateur, and that the man more than likely got lost and died. After 6 hours, the men are exhausted and are running low on batteries. They abandon their search and attempt to surface through a manhole, but it is sealed shut. They will now have to retrace their steps back to the surface. As for this man, we will never know what he was running from, and if he ever saw the light of day again. Captured through the zoomed-in lens of a cell phone camera, a large and terrifying creature emerges from the trees on the right-hand side of the screen. It faces the brave cameraman and begins to run towards the campground. The occupants flee in terror. Could this be the legendary Bigfoot? Watch the actual footage and decide for yourself. Either way, it was a close call for these campers.
Yo, what the? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that, dude? Look! Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Go, 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 go. Get the fuck out. Come on.
Zoomed in over 20 times optical and shot from about 20 yards, an Explorer captures this amazing and utterly chilling close-up of a Sasquatch. If you look carefully, the creature's face is clearly visible, looking straight in the direction of the videographer, who is hiding beneath a pine tree. Seemingly unfazed, the creature continues to hold his ground to ensure the safety of his tribe. Deep in the forest at Watauga Lake, a large black bear is seen mauling its defenseless prey. Despite the deer being quite large, the grip of the bear is too strong. It tries in vain to free itself from the vice, but eventually succumbs to the predator and is dragged off to its lair. This trail camera seems to have caught some bizarre creature lurking in the middle of the forest. It can be seen casually passing by. I am not sure what this is, since we cannot see its face, but it is a creature out of this world that is beyond human understanding. The trail camera is positioned high, making it hard to distinguish this creature's true height. If we watch the video at a slower speed, we might make up the idea that this strange being is tall because it takes long strides as it moves deeper into the forest. Its whole body is covered in a coat of thick fur, which makes it resemble an ape. We can't make much out of this footage, but it does seem to resemble the same body structure we all know of the infamous Sasquatch, the Bigfoot. However, what is with all that hopping around? Really strange footage. In this video, a man decided to film his experience while walking in the woods, when he unexpectedly came across a fascinating sight. As he continues filming, he catches something in the corner of his eyes that seems really creepy.
Whoa!
He adjusts his camera at the direction of what caught his eyes and zooms at it. The image becomes clearer, the creature's white face standing out amidst the thick foliage of leaves. It also seems to have dark eyes that are intensely staring in his direction. But the creature is not flinching at all, standing still for the entirety of the video.
He's standing above the bushes. He, she, whatever. Look how tall that is.
If we look too closely, we might make the impression that the creature is blinking, but I think that is because of the poor quality of the camera.
You see how dark its eyes are? Yo, this is scary to an extent. I don't usually see white ones like that.
The man recording is spooked, and even admits that he doesn't normally see creatures as such in the area. Could this be some random animal, or is it a kind of cryptid? Or could it be just a random structure in the woods that spoke to him for no reason? In a forest in Indonesia, the locals stumbled upon a horrifying sight. The video captured a figure of what seems to be a man wrapped in cloth. The figure is unresponsive and shockingly stands there. The voices of the witnesses crackle with awe and concern, as they seem to be familiar with what they are seeing. One even reclaims that the rope is untied. I can hear them saying it's a pocong. So I have done some digging around this video, and it is true many Indonesian people attribute this to an ancient ghostly entity that is said to be the soul of a dead person trapped in their shroud, a traditional belief of the Indonesian culture. The pocong of a person who has been dead for years would be more skeletal in appearance, like the one we are witnessing here. So could this be a real pocong? This trail camera caught a weird sighting. The camera catches some movement of a black and furry figure moving along the tree line. I'll admit it is not clear, and we can't make much out of it. I think this recording might be edited since the figure seems to be bigger and heavier than in reality, so I'm not sure if this is truly Bigfoot, or just a person who tried really hard to create a video of a Bigfoot Sasquatch and wanted to gather as much attention as possible. But I could be wrong. What do you think? A camera installed in a household captured some paranormal activity. In the stillness of the night, the sleeping cat is suddenly being carried by what seems to be an invisible force. It floats in the air for a while, then the invisible figure seems to place it on the other side of the bed. What could be behind these eerie occurrences? Definitely, this has involvement of ghostly activities. The poltergeist is one mostly known for such nuisance. Most claims or fictional descriptions of poltergeists show them as being capable of moving objects such as furniture and cutlery, or making noises such as knocking on doors. But I have never seen one use its powers to move a cat on the other side of the bed. I hope the cat is not too traumatized by this experience. The owner of this house had been hearing strange noises in his attic at night, so he decided to install a hidden camera to uncover the uncanny happenings. The home cam recording captured some paranormal activities happening in the attic. Amidst the calmness, at the far corner, the wooden seat can be seen moving as if it had been pushed. It happens the second time, and this time it's more evident that there could be ghostly activities happening there. This time the chair is pushed farther, and this is really terrifying. As if that was not enough, the wooden horse toy starts rocking on its own. I am sure the residents of this home were really frightened after they saw this recording. Could it be the house was haunted before they moved in? A man claiming to have been staying in a secluded Pennsylvania cabin thought he was seeing something outside at night, so he got his phone and started filming this. Deep in the darkness, as he zooms his camera, he sees a pair of gleaming eyes. The eyes seem to be looking at him directly, as if it is stalking on him. The footage is not clear, but one can see its shadowy figure outline, and the shape of its head is unearthly. With a final demonic glare, it turns and goes away. The witness is left wondering what could that be, but glad that he had recorded it all on camera. These two curious women decided to explore the woods when they came about something that will forever leave them questioning. The sight of really strange and small creature high up in a tree. It is difficult to define, as it unresponsive the creature seemed to be clutched onto the tree and is not moving. The two claim to have never seen anything like that, and one of them can be heard asking if maybe it could be a bear. The unknown creature has a thick coat of fur and is same size as a bear cub. The two women recording are uneasy and are in wonder if the creature could cause any harm to them. As they continue recording the video, they are frightened and probably think it is a good idea to leave. The women flee from the scene wondering about the eerie encounter of the wild. So what exactly was that? This explorer was out when he heard some weird growls echoing through the cave below him. These growls are nothing of anything I have ever heard of, and they seem to be coming from a really frightening creature. As the explorer records the video, these growls become in symphony with another similar growl. The explorer can be seen pointing out to where the sounds could be coming from. The cave is usually home to bears. Could this be a growl from a bear? Or is it coming from an even more sinister creature? Picture the scene. You've gone away to a cabin in the woods with your partner for a romantic getaway. Nothing but the two of you deep in the forest. Until one night you hear footsteps outside, and grabbing your flashlight, you discover this peering at you through the window. Well, this is what one guy on Reddit claims happened to him. On first sight, it appears to be some kind of ape, but the facial features appear almost human. What could it be? The infamous Bigfoot posing as a peeping Tom. Something about the eyes, though, seems off. They're just too dead. Like maybe this creature features in a museum display case. You be the judge. Either way, it's a passion killer. A deserted wood. Camera footage captures a large hairy creature amongst the trees. Zoomed in, the creature appears to be gigantic in height and size, and aware that it is being watched as it moves to look in the direction of the camera. The area surrounding it to the right-hand side of the screen appears to resemble some kind of wall structure comprising of logs stacked on top of one another. Is this the creature's shelter, or a lookout point where it can observe predators or prey on unsuspecting visitors? Is this the legendary Bigfoot, or a hunter in some kind of weird camouflage gear? The camera zooms in even further to catch a look at the beast's face. Its features are unrecognizable. For now, it remains a mystery.
Some of these boards are bending.
Do you hear that?
Like, what, is that wind?
The footage you are about to see, and more importantly hear, was recorded by YouTuber exploring abandoned mines and unusual places. What is particularly interesting is that he doesn't engage with the paranormal in his channel at all. This was just a completely random and creepy occurrence that happened to him in the Waldeck mine. You might want to put your earphones on for this. As he explores the abandoned mine, an almost inaudible whisper emerges from a nearby tunnel.
Do you hear that? What, is that wind?
At first he passes it off as the wind. It is then the voice or possible voices are noticeably louder.
I don't know if you can hear that on the camera.
The first sounds like a woman whispering, followed by further voices seemingly in conversation. Very difficult to decipher what is being said, but some distinct words appear to emerge like out and yes. As he moves to investigate, the sound suddenly ceases, and there is an eerie silence before it returns again.
Do you hear that? It stopped.
The YouTuber attempts to rationalize the sound, suggesting it might be snakes or a bird.
Don't know if that's a bird or... I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but...
Truth be told, I've never heard a bird make this noise. Creeped out and disturbed by the experience, he rushes to leave the abandoned mine. A sprightly little creature with a hunchback carrying what appears to be some kind of knapsack or bundle moves between the rocks. From another angle, we can make out its face with features somewhere between a human and a dog or bear hybrid. You might be mistaken thinking you are watching The Lord of the Rings, as he is reminiscent of Gollum, but perhaps less nimble and way better looking. The creature darts timidly between the rocks. Every now and then he glances nervously behind him, as if watching out for some unknown predator. The origin of this entity remains a mystery, born from the imagination of a wannabe filmmaker or an actual living mythical creature caught on tape. You decide. Drop us your thoughts in the comments. Accrington Police Station and Courts. A live camera catches unexplained activity in the cell area corridor. At first, we see an empty corridor. The building is empty. If you look closely, the faintest hint of shadow can be seen creeping over the brightly polished floor nearest the gates at the end of the passage. A sound is heard, picked up by the camera speaker. It sounds like wind interference, but there is no wind. It almost sounds like someone tapping on a microphone. Moments later, a tremor out of nowhere, as whatever is interfering with the camera rattles it on its vantage point, shifting its focus away from the corridor. Evidence states that there was no earth tremor on this evening, so who is responsible for the disruption? Is Accrington Police Station haunted by the victim of a violent crime? Or perhaps one of its former cellmates? The noise ends as quickly as it started. Whomever is interfering with the camera passes without being caught on tape. A woman parks in a deserted area that appears to lead into the woods. Inexplicably, she leaves her car and crosses the bridge where she spots a strange woman walking across the path. Something about this video feels too staged, and the woman looks like she's wearing a costume from The Ring. Either way, a disturbing and creepy encounter, even if it appears to be purely for our entertainment. Someone captures what appears to be a human comprised entirely of light in southern Minas Gerais in Brazil. Spotted from a distance, it stands on the hillside, almost motionless. The phenomenon, whilst rare, is apparently well documented, and locals attest to seeing this entity frequently. The area in which the sighting occurred is known for its mines that are rich in mineral resources. Could this be responsible for its glow? People living here have even nicknamed this human light the Mother of Gold. Interestingly, the area is also known for UFO sightings and other extraterrestrial activities. Is this creature an alien being? One of the infamous Shining Ones? Others suggest that it might be some kind of angel, while skeptics believe that it is merely light on a reflective surface or suit and not human, as it barely moves for the duration of the video. What I want to know is, why did no one attempt to get closer for a better look? What do you think it could be? Drop us your thoughts in the comments. Woken by his wife, a man is sent to investigate a noise she has heard coming from their shed. Armed with a cell phone and a flashlight, he walks the short distance in the dark. On first appearance, the shed is empty until he shines the light on the ceiling. Between the rafters, a black figure is visible, and then its hand moves between the rafters, sending him running back to the house. Now let's watch it again. The first time it looked as if the creature was lying on its stomach on the rafters, but now it's possible to see that perhaps it's not a creature at all, but a person sitting sideways, and the hand is decidedly human, isn't it? Is this a would-be burglar looking to score some tools from the open shed? Or is it something altogether more nightmarish? You be the judge. Either way, it remains a disturbing sight in the early hours of the morning. A horse reacts to possible danger as a rider leads them into the woods. Something untoward makes them stop dead in their tracks. Phone camera footage captures what appears to be an alien peering out at them from behind a tree. It appears cautious and obviously does not want to be seen. The creature has a decidedly small head and large, terrifying black eyes. Watch again in slow motion as we catch a clearer glimpse of its face. Is this one of the notorious Greys, a species of extraterrestrial that is frequently sighted and often the subject of alien abduction claims? And if so, how did it end up here? If the horse's reticence to proceed is anything to go by, I'd say this is the real deal. At lightning speed, an adult alligator springs into view, razor-sharp teeth flashing. The dogs make a hasty retreat to safety. It's possibly the scaly predator is only trying to ward off the canines, and it works. Even in a pack of 3, they're not taking their chances with this beast. A bystander at Lake Prespa in Albania fumbles for their phone to capture what looks like the head of a giant serpent. The creature is an almost identical twin to the infamous Nessie or Loch Ness monster. The creature's head is seen rising from the water before slowly submerging itself again, only its head visible on the surface. Could this be a plesiosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile? Or could the monster be a large eel? Even then, eels seldom grow this big. The quality of the footage is poor and only a few seconds long. The skeptic in me notes that the neck of the beast seems pretty rigid and immobile. Is our desire for fantasy obscuring the reality? Is this, as some suggest, just a submarine periscope? You be the judge. A street view camera reads 2:44, almost the witching hour. A weary street dog is seen barking at something or someone before retreating further. If its body language with its tail between its legs is anything to go on, whatever is following is strange and unwelcome. Seconds later, a shadow is visible on the wall opposite. However, instead of a human, something else emerges from the deserted street. The dog doesn't stick around to greet it and runs off. A shadow in the shape of what appears to be a human man walks past the camera and out of view. It is comprised solely of a dark matter in a human form. Note all the orbs visible just before his arrival. Some suggest that those are indicators of energy and the most common form of paranormal activity. Skeptics might suggest that they are merely the result of the light on dust particles, but it seems a strange coincidence that they appear around the same time as the ghostly apparition. The man ignores the dog and strolls nonchalantly into the dark. One wonders what he is doing here and why he is not at peace. A creepy encounter, nevertheless.
Days like today are no fun.
No fun at all.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Can I get it now?
Stay there.
A man and his family are plagued by a series of sinister activities. Watch as the inexplicable and disturbing events unfold. The gut-wrenching sound of his young and clearly terrified daughter crying suggests that this is a common and unwelcome presence in this family's home. As he moves from the basement door to the closed pantry to investigate the rattling sound, he opens them to reveal nothing. The incidents appear to happen within seconds of each other, which makes for a compelling argument that what he is experiencing is within the realm of the paranormal, possibly a poltergeist and very real. Watch as the activity intensifies.
It's starting again. What's going on again?
Hello?
The spirit continues to antagonize the man who is drawn to the living room, where his guitar is being strummed forcefully. No one is in the room. Even when he moves the instrument to the empty garage, the sound of it is clearly heard again. The haunting continues at night.
I keep hearing sounds in my bathroom. I don't know what it is. I haven't whistled, I haven't messed with this thing. Holy crap. No freaking way. Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you see that? It's okay. There's no way somebody...
Despite the dark, it is possible to see a shadowy figure moving past the bathroom mirror, followed by the sound of something crashing. The family's terror is palpable. You can hear the fear in their voices. Whatever is haunting this family is hell-bent on getting them out of its home. A fox is seen retreating in haste from its enemy, a badger, a prolific predator of foxes. The badger appears to be blocking the fox's den. Undeterred, the fox attempts to return, chased again by the badger. Badgers frequently plunder fox dens if there are cubs, which they eat. It is possible that this persistent little fox is risking its life to protect her offspring. This video comes from a house nanny cam, and in it we see a girl sitting on the couch using her mobile phone. She is busy with her mobile phone, and suddenly we see the plant leaves on the table in front of her move. After that, the object on the table falls off on its own, and the girl notices it. She thinks it's nothing, and picks the thing up from the ground and puts it back on the table. But as soon as she puts it back, the door of the cabinet beside her opens on its own. The door opens and closes on its own. And seeing that, the girl knows that now it's not normal. She straddles and yells for her mom, and then runs off from there. I think this video is really interesting and real, considering the natural reaction of the girl to these encounters. Also, the plant leaf movement left unknown by the girl also shows that there was some spirit present there, doing all this haunting. This man heard something was on his roof, making noises and moving around. Although he was a bit scared, he went outside trying to get rid of it, thinking it must be a large bird or a lost cat. But he was not prepared for what he is about to see.
No.
Okay. Get the other side. Oh, damn!
Once he looks on top of his house, he can see a pair of glowing eyes staring at him, while also hiding behind the roof.
Holy shit, alright. Son of a bitch is one on the other side of the house.
But once he gets to the other side of the house to see the creature better, he sees only a terrifying sight.
What the hell? Where'd it go? What is that?
What exactly did this man catch on camera on top of his house? Was it perhaps an owl that seems creepier than usual? Or was it some kind of cryptid? Considering the carcass it left behind, it seems really terrifying and likely that it was something out of the ordinary. These videos that I am about to show you come from Scott Carpenter, and he is certain that in the area where he lives, there lives at least one Bigfoot, but he is stranger than any one Bigfoot you've seen. He claims that this Bigfoot is a completely white one, and he has some evidence to show for that claim. He traversed the forests and took recordings of every journey, and with more long hours of going through every footage and enhancing it, he has found some strange sightings of something that's been stalking him all throughout his journey. He has spotted many times a white figure trying to hide near bushes or trees, while keeping a close eye on his movements. Scott's cameras managed to pick up multiple occurrences of this, but one of the best sights he caught was the creature's face. We can see the special color of the creature, which I am guessing isn't helping it hide at all in a green forest. But the creature also seems strangely creepy and cautious at the same time, as if he is fearing Scott. Could this be a mutation of the known Bigfoot creature? A mutation that made it completely white? This security footage was taken by someone who set up these cameras because they believe the house is haunted and wanted proof of that. And as you are about to see in this clip, the house certainly is haunted. We can see the woman sleeping in her room, everything starting out normal, but just a bit past 8 p.m. we can see the door of a small cabinet opening on its own. Soon after, the light inside it start going on and off, but creepier, the stand near her bed seems to move slowly, to a point where it hits the bed, as if to wake her up. Once she wakes up thinking she heard something, she calls after someone in the house, who immediately comes to comfort her.
Honey?
They go back into the room to check again, knowing something is not right, but decide they do not want to stay in that room any longer. But just a few seconds after they leave, this happens. The footage ends there, but we can all say with certainty, something is wrong in that house. Could it be a poltergeist playing with them? This security footage caught a creepy sight. It seems to be placed in a house under construction, perhaps to see if anyone comes to steal any of the building materials. But as soon as this clip starts, we can see something coming out of the next room. It looks like the shadow of a man that is walking slowly, heading towards the next room. I am not sure whether it is the way the camera is set up, but the figure seems incredibly large, almost reaching the height of that tall door. It is truly a creepy sight. What exactly could it be? Is this some kind of a shadow ghost? Or is it just some flickering of the camera that created a creepy glitch on the screen? This hiker started recording with his phone while in the forest because he realized something might be stalking him. Although he shakes the camera a lot, perhaps due to being anxious, we can easily spot something in the distance, looking directly at him. The figure appears humanoid, but fully dressed in black, or perhaps black hair. Although the hiker managed to get out of the forest safely, he claims to have been shaken by what he saw that day, and is unsure himself of what he's seen, not knowing if it was a weird person following him around or something more creepy. Many claimed that is a Sasquatch, who got a bit too interested in this particular case and decided to follow him around. But given the bad quality of the video, I'm not so sure that is the case, when it can also be all a setup. What do you think? This elementary school principal from Nicholas County, West Virginia, had a terrifying jump scare. We can see him near a dumpster, trying to unlock it, but little does he know of what he is about to encounter inside it. As he removes the metal bar, keeping it closed, we quickly see it open. In that moment, a big furry head pops out of the dumpster and greets the principal, who immediately gets scared and starts running for his life. The black bear climbs out of the dumpster and proceeds to also run in the other direction. We also have the footage of how the bear got inside it. A trail camera conveniently set up directly near the dumpster spots the bear as he just flips the metal lock bar, bends it upwards, and proceeds to squirm inside it. Apparently, the bear was not locked inside it, as it seems he can easily open and get out of the dumpster. So perhaps the principal just disturbed his post-meal nap. These remarkable images, captured at Big Creek Lake in Wilmer, Alabama, have ignited a wave of speculation and wonder. From the very first glance, it becomes apparent that we may be in the presence of the legendary and elusive creature known as the Bigfoot. The creature in display possesses a thick coat of fur enveloping its entire body. However, as we dare to examine the images more closely, its towering stature more closely resembles that of an ape, more of a gorilla. Notably, unlike most purported Bigfoot sightings caught on camera, this particular specimen appears comparatively smaller in size. One can't help but wonder, could this be an elaborate disguise? A man in a costume aimed at playing an unsettling prank on unsuspecting observers? Deep in the woods in Oklahoma, a hunter captures a chilling encounter running across a trail camera and is convinced he's captured the famous Bigfoot. We had to zoom in quite a bit to scrutinize the explicit humanoid blur. Notice how the bipedal subject was moving so fast that the camera was not able to take a clear picture. Is it because the subject was really fast? Or is it done intentionally so that we cannot tell it is fake? Its ghastly pale form takes on a somewhat otherworldly appearance, eerily similar to a cryptid entity. The overall structure seems really sturdy, a human-like form, but a bit different. Could this be the dreaded Sasquatch moving at an incredible speed? Or is just a normal human who was caught in a weird way by the camera? This security camera caught some bizarre footage under the cover of darkness. Amidst a tranquil garden, a chilling sight unfolds. The video captures a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, the camera glitches as if someone was tampering with it. What sends chills behind our backs is when the figure suddenly starts being enveloped in an incredibly bright light, as if it points a flashlight directly at the security camera. This prompts the homeowner to go to investigate what was lurking in the darkness. Upon arriving outside, she doesn't find anything, but she explains where the figure was standing.
Here's the area, the camera points to. Who would it be out here in the pitch black? Did you hear that?
Her voice is filled with awe and confusion. as she doesn't comprehend what could be terrorizing them. Could it be a prank play or something more sinister that would pay them another visit in the future? This was captured on a security camera in a remote location where, at a time, the owner explained, no one was out due to rain and cold. This woman was seen wandering around that area, pacing back and forth for 20 minutes. No one knows why. It seems as if she's lost. A second security camera in another vantage position captures her going in the back of a certain house. Moments later, she is seen withdrawing back to the woods. From her body language, she seems lost and doesn't know where she is. We can also see her as she staggers in her walking. Could she be under the influence of some drugs? What could she be doing in the middle of the night, outside by herself? Could she be intoxicated or a victim of abduction, searching for help or a path to assistance? If that is the case, why did she not knock the door of one of the nearby houses? The owner of this footage has no answers, as they could not find the mysterious woman in the morning. In a more sinister case, this clip captures an unnerving event of what looks like an old woman approaching the front door of a certain house. Her looks towards the house door at such a late hour seem disturbing enough. But what is more terrifying is that she seems to be holding something in her hand. By the looks of it, this creepy lady is standing in front of this house with a knife, perhaps waiting for someone. Nervously, she gazes upon the blade with an eerie fixation. Is she trying to muster the courage to do whatever she had in mind to begin with? What malevolence could she be planning? Imagine if someone came out from the house and finds this creepy lady? To be honest, I think she might be suffering from some type of mental illness, as she does not seem to be in her right mind. But it is scary to think what could have happened if someone opened the door. In this household, the owner installed a motion tracking camera because strange things kept happening in the house. She is familiar with the events and complains that this is not the first time strange things happened. Before the video begins, something must have happened, as she seems concerned about the cat, calling it to come to her. But we soon see that the door starts moving, as if someone is meddling with it. When she approaches the door, it is clear that no one is there. Could it be a ghostly apparition? Her cat also is aware of the uncanny presence of the unknown, and seems to be spooked. She even goes to the back of the door and talks to the ghost, as if this is all too familiar to her. She curses to whatever that's behind the door and tells it to leave the door alone. But once the woman begins petting and trying to calm down the cat, something creepier happens. The lady seems overwhelmed by these ghostly activities, as if she's experienced this over and over again. This unsettling video comes to a conclusion, but one question lingers in the minds of those who have witnessed it. What insidious forces inhabit this house? Is it a poltergeist, trying to make its presence known? One night, the mother of a daughter was notified by her camera application that motion was detected in the room. The mother, not knowing what is going on in the middle of the night, checks the monitor, only to see a scary sight. We can clearly see something running across the screen next to the kid's bed. Even the motion camera moves a bit, following the figure's movement. Soon after, the mother comes to the room and asks her child if she has a cat in her room. It becomes more peculiar when the child responds that there was no cat in the room.
Is there a cat in here? Is there a cat in here? No.
It becomes clear that surely it might be a ghost cat because the mother wrote about this footage online, saying they recently had to put down their family cat due to illness, and that might be her soul still lingering next to the child, who she had a loving relationship with. In 2017, this trail camera in East Texas Davy Crockett National Forest caught an uncanny sighting at night in a remote location. In this picture, we can see a figure of what appears to be a woman walking around alone in the forest. This is definitely a creepy sight because of the fact that it was captured on a trail camera at a time where certainly no one would be walking around alone in the wilderness. The park rangers were not able to track her, and no one was reported missing around that area. Was this truly a person we've witnessed? Could she be lost or a fugitive? Or did this trail camera catch a ghost? In the still of the night, this trail camera caught what appears to be a slender shadow running across the front yard of a house. When we slow down the recording, as the figure is running, one might assume it to be a normal human being. But as it goes past, it starts vanishing and disappears into the thin air. This footage is really strange, and what transpires is really mysterious. At a closer range, from its pale figure and almost invisible like stature, one can conclude it to be a ghostly apparition. But it could also be a glitch with the recording camera, as this type of things are known to happen with cheaper equipment, where a person's body is no longer processed by the camera, and thus it appears to vanish. A trail camera picks up an unusual sight of a creature fumbling with the camera. Only fur from the animal can be seen. The creature had come around and spotted the camera, and perhaps out of curiosity, it tries to figure what the object is. In the process, it reveals its face, and we can see it's a bear. The bear, with its large paws and inherent wilderness, inadvertently damages the camera as it forcefully rips it off, showcasing its inability to handle delicate objects. This woman heard some crows going crazy in the forest, and she began filming in case they start again. She tries to look for the crows in the sky, but she finds none. But her camera catches something else in the forest, lurking. In between the trees, she sees a figure that catches her eyes. Amongst the trees, a dark hulking image that appeared in one frame. The figure appears to be a large, hairy creature, potentially resembling the mythical Bigfoot. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is generally depicted as a large bipedal humanoid covered in fur. What even seems scarier is when the creature lifts up its arm and seems to wave at the woman. The woman obviously freaks out, as it is indeed a frightening sight to see while walking all alone in a forest. Although the video does not show anything more, and we get a very brief sight of the creature, it still raises the question of whether she may have captured a glimpse of the legendary Sasquatch or Bigfoot. This is a recording from a ranger who was conducting a survey in a remote area when he noticed something strange in the depths of the field. The ranger flashes his spotlight scanning the area when he sees a peculiar white figure. Sensing it is being watched, it swiftly crawls behind a tree to hide. The ranger maintains the flashlight in the specific area, and 5 seconds later, it is seen emerging from the shadows, creeping stealthily between the trees, going in deeper in the woods. When we zoom in the footage, the creature bears a haunting resemblance to the infamous rake that at times walks on its fours, giving an illusion of a crawling figure. A police officer is called out to investigate a disturbance in a certain area, because apparently, neighbors complained a man had been screaming for almost over an hour. Upon arriving at the scene, it seems as if the screams had abruptly ceased. He constantly uses his flashlight to search any signs of the unusual, as he cautiously proceeded down the road, but his flashlight suddenly illuminates a chilling sight at the far end of a branching road on his right. A pale and ghostly figure appeared to be sitting down. Without warning, it rises and starts darting towards the officer. The sheriff is spooked and becomes alerted. He immediately turns around away to flee from the imminent danger. After a close inspection, one can recognize the unknown figure to be one of the cryptids from its humanoid figure, white-like complexion and elongated limbs. The authenticity of the video is of course a matter of debate. However, there is no denying the strange and unsettling nature of the creature that is captured on film. Whether it is a real creature or simply a clever hoax, the video is sure to spark curiosity and speculation. A security camera captures a peculiar occurrence in a backyard in Weslaco, Texas. In the dead of the night, when it is devoid of any activities, a small girl is seen walking hurriedly from the back of a storehouse across to the other end. One can easily wonder what a young girl could be doing walking casually in the middle of the night. The small girl seems to be in a white dress and seems to be all alone. The owner claims there isn't any young girl in their house or living in their vicinity, hence why he thought this site is so creepy. At a closer range, from its pale figure and almost invisible-like stature, one can conclude it to be a ghostly apparition. We also have a continuation, as the owner, baffled by what he saw, went on to investigate the surrounding area of his backyard. The area is scary and seems to be empty, not one trace of a person having been there. The man goes to the fence of the yard and records the eerie darkness, but nothing out of ordinary can be seen. So what exactly did the camera catch? Was it a glitch with the recording, or did it really catch a glimpse of the immaterial? Looking at this video, one can just see a normal grass field, but upon closer inspection, the young creature comes into clarity. It resembles a meerkat or a mongoose, but when analyzed, many people claim the creature is taller and wider from a normal mongoose. From its structure, one can distinguish the small creature has long arms and elongated small claws. It is also visible that it is covered in black fur and has some orange smudge on its head. The description may resemble that of a baby Bigfoot, or it could be a photoshopped image of one's intention trying to spook its audience. What do you think? In the continued search for the Bigfoot, a man catches a glimpse of a thrilling moment. A figure can be seen stalking around. The video was perfectly captured in the right moment, where the large creature can be seen as if playing peekaboo with the viewers. The man in the background filming is captivated and asks his counterpart if sees what he's seeing, whom he's also aware of the happenings.
Do you see that? Do you see that? I'm afraid.
The creature also seems to be aware of being watched, as it seems to be directly facing them.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The unknown figure casually wanders around conscious of being watched. When it stretches its arms, the limbs are really long and resembles those of a Bigfoot. The creature can easily be mistaken for an ape, but surely it's too big for the ape category considering the fact it is bipedal. This person was having a party at their house, but he noticed some weird movement outside their house. They went outside to check and spotted something strange, hiding. They pointed the flashlight to confirm if there is anything there. Not seeing anything, the person closes the flashlight to see if that will bait whatever is hiding in the darkness. When they open the flashlight again, at a closer scrutiny, a glimmer of movement behind a distant rock caught their eye. A small, unusual being peeks from the rock, then hides. The person then keeps doing that repeatedly, and as before we can see the small being peeking again timidly. There are points when the unusual being comes out exposing part of its body. The thing resembles the height of a toddler, appears white or pink in color, and as it goes back, we can see its short hand. We can hear the woman in the background pleading for the flashlight to be turned on.
Turn the light on. Turn the light on again.
And this time, they catch half of its body. Might this be one of the myuu, the little people from Native Americans' myths? They have come to punish those who did not compel to their rules, or they have come to reward who were kind to them. In this clip, a man was in his yard when he noticed something dark moving near the wood line. He tries to use his phone to see if he can have a closer look. As he tries to zoom in, he can see the dark blob but can't make out what it is and continues recording. A second one pops out. As the one stands there staring at him, the other one looks oblivious. The larger one goes behind that tree and starts peeking from the other side. Could this be the site of a group of Bigfoot-like creatures? Something out of the ordinary stands out against the stark backdrop of a snowy forest. A tree begins to wobble as though being pushed by an invisible force, and then it vanishes. The cameraman is startled and rapidly zooms in to get a better look.
Something happened over there. There's the trees.
When another tree appears and joins the ethereal show, amazing things happen. It seems to have been plucked from the earth and is then observed floating weightlessly through the air, as if propelled there by supernatural forces. The cameraman's voice cracks with awe and amusement as he exits the scene. As the screen fades to black, the mystery remains, leaving us to wonder about the invisible forces at work in the world. Could the tree have been uprooted by the mysterious Bigfoot, whose existence has been a mystery to humans for centuries? During a Facebook live session, the streamer discloses that unusual things have been happening in the backyard of his house. He opens the door to his backyard and records as he tries to stabilize his camera phone. As he closely zooms into the further backyard, what we see runs a chill behind our backs.
This is the exact spot that I just...
The figure suddenly appears, emerging from the deepest shadows. It moved with an unnerving swiftness, resembling a cryptid straight out of folklore. Its elongated limbs blurred as it ran past the lamplight through the blackness, leaving a lingering chill in its wake. We can look at the stabilized video and we can see the immense stature of the figure. Even with a costume, no one would be able to look this huge and move this smoothly. Even the comments from the viewers, which were filled with astonishment and amazement, poured over the screen of his phone in a continuous stream. Is it a harmless joke, or may something more sinister be at work here? This driver had just left a late-night party and was coming home when he noticed something unusual. The footage from the dashboard camera shows a perplexing image that is concentrated at the side of the road where a deer can be seen standing still in its tracks and commanding attention. But what really sent chills was the ghostly figure that stood beside the deer, an eerie white silhouette mirroring the height and form of a human who stood there, defying the boundaries of the known. After closely zooming and stabilizing the image, it appeared as though the ghost form was gently petting the deer. The footage reveals a spine-chilling moment. What caused this footage And why does it look like a human close to the deer? Was it a ghostly figure or a trick of the camera? Nestled within the depths of Guatemala, a park ranger discovers that he is caught up in an intricate web of unexplained occurrences. As the ranger emerges from his cabin and as he approaches his quad bike, we hear an eerie symphony of unease permeating the air around him. Once more, the ghostly wails can be heard resonating with persistence. Because the park ranger is familiar with the native creatures residing there, he is confident that the eerie howls are coming from a creature that is not native to that area and does not belong there. This leaves the ranger wondering if the cries are of an animal or something more sinister. This trail camera captured this eerie footage in the depths of the wilderness. The grainy image reveals a creature, its familiar and inexplicably uncanny form. The creature in the footage has since been named the Tehachapi Dogman. At first glance, the shadow appears to be a normal wolf, but upon closer scrutiny, its presence seems more immense than any canine entity. A stooped bipedal person with a slumped posture came into view. The creature's form suggests something more menacing, defying the boundaries of the natural world. For more captivating content like this, click here. Thank you for tuning in.